Hey there, Sart here, back again at the depths of chaos. I wanted to do one more clear of the boss rush. The last one I did was using my EX2 Celeste and just sort of showcasing how her support allows you to bring a couple of Hyohs and some other strong damage dealers to basically just clear out everything on turn one. But I wanted to do a clear using an Ex2 Celeste, and I wanted to do a team that didn't assume that you had your own Hyoh. And so we will bring a friend Hyoh though, because he's still one of the best units for just clearing out trials and things. And they're fairly frequent on the friends list. You can see right there, 3 Hyohs right there on the friends list. At any given time, there's probably like 5 or 6 Hyohs on the friends list. Right there in just one tab, there's 4 right there near the top. So I'm just gonna pick one of these. We'll pick Kaiser because he's from my Discord. So I always like to feature Discord friends if I see them on my friends list here. So we are gonna use this team. The only units that you really need to build for it is Celeste. The rest of the units can almost be naked. They do need to have ailment resist though, because some of the bosses throw ailments at you, and some of them even do ailment resistance down. So you have to have an initial 100% resistance to the ailments and then a resistance buff, unless you're killing everything on turn 1. We're not going to kill everything on turn 1. These will all be 2-turn clears. I think, well, there is one that will clear on turn 1, but all the rest of them will be 2-turn clears, because we need a setup turn and then a kill turn, because Celeste needs to set up. But yeah, pretty much all the rest of the units can essentially be naked. I will show you the gear anyways. The gear is pretty irrelevant. I didn't actually build Roberta for anything. This is all of her favorited gear except for the Hairpin of Purity, which I put on there for the ailment resist. But the rest of the gear is pretty irrelevant. She's not here to deal damage. She will be doing some chaining just to ramp up the chain for us. But you could theoretically build her with damage if you need a little bit more damage to get this one done, and you're not able to get it done with just Celeste and a friend Hyoh alone. Then yeah, sure, build her for a little bit of damage. You don't have to use the Dark Vision sword. You could give her something else. You could potentially do great swords since we have Celeste providing a great sword in peril. That type of thing. But I didn't really bother gearing Roberta. Roberta is really just here for some buffs. She does supply Aquan Killer for the Aquan boss, which is nice, and Dragon Killer for the Dragon boss at the end, which is nice. So yeah, she's got a few things going on in her kit, and I just wanted to feature someone else besides Ilmatel, who I think I've used in pretty much all my other clears at this one, because Ilmatel brings that 100% Omni Killer, which is very useful. So we're not going to rely on that for this one. We're just going to bring Roberta. So for Celeste, I did decide to go no clash gear on her, because I know that's sometimes a sticking point for people, and it's like, oh, you've got this unit and they've got all the clash gear. I don't have all that stuff, and so I'm not going to put any clash gear on her. We don't really care about her normal form because all of her damage comes in the Brave Shift form. And so in the Brave Shift form, the thing to remember is that Celeste is not a premium unit, so she doesn't have the 200% Omni Killers, which means gearing her for those races that she doesn't have innate killers to can be pretty tricky. And she doesn't have innate killers to quite a few of the bosses on here. And so we definitely want to take advantage of gear that has killers on it, like Besaid Blue Bandana, which has, if it will show you, 50% Fairy Killer. So Fairy is one of the ones she has no innate killers to, so we're definitely focusing on that. Blue Mage Dress has 100% on it. Nomad's Necklace is good for the Dragon Killer because she has no innate Dragon Killer in her kit, so we definitely want to focus on that one too. Rundarine is for the Aquan Killer. And then yeah, so I picked materials that have a lot of just have a lot of killers all in one, or specifically ones that she doesn't have. Seaweed Slayer is great because it's got Aquan and Plant Killer on it. and it has 70% attack. So things with high attack passes is also good since she's an NV plus unit. Cyclopedia Mythica is good because it's got 75% demon, dragon, and plant, which we face on the boss rush, all of those three. Supernatural Subversion is great because it's got aquatic, demon, fairy. Again, we're going to experience all those in this fight. Vortex of the Past is just there for the 100% attack passive and the 100% TDH. And then the Vision card, I just gave her Ibarra's card because I think it's like one of the oldest 170 attack cards, and so I figured it's the one you're most likely to have. But if you don't have it, just use the best card that you have for her, whatever slot's in there. But we'll take a look at her killers. You know, only 150 to aquatic. Yeah, it's kind of but you know, it's enough to get us across the line. It's why we're bringing Roberta to buff the Aquan killer. 250 demon, that's plenty. We do have Hyoh to supply demon killer, which is great. 300 human is great. Only 125 dragon, but again, that's why we have Roberta to supply the dragon killer. 200 fairy, you'd like it to be higher, but you know, it's the best we could do. And then 300 plant. So she does have innate plant killer in her kit, which is nice. So hitting that, capping that is pretty easy for her. All right. And that's it for Celeste. As far as Elena goes, you know, just bulk her up and then make sure to take care of her MP. So like, I always put Prophet's Diadem on her because it has a ton of MP on it. MP reduction, that's also why we have Ash's leg armor for MP reduction. So whatever you can do to just give her a ton of MP and reduce her MP costs, because as we all know, Elena runs into MP problems, and in a really long fight like this, that can be a huge issue for her. So just whatever you can do to bump up her MP, and then just give her some standard bulk. She's not really here to deal damage. She's just here to Omni tank on turn 1 and then chain with everybody on turn 2, and that's pretty much it. So Sakura is really good here, and we kind of need her because she's there aren't any good FFBE units that do a light imperil field except for Tsukiko. The problem is Tsukiko's you can only use once. It's a Magnus ability, and Medusa will overwrite our fields, and that's the 5th fight in the series. And so we need someone who can reapply a field, and there's no FFBE unit that can reapply a light imperil field, so that's why we have to go with Thunder Element, so that we can have somebody that's an FFBE category to do an all missions clear. They can also do an imperil field, and that's what Sakura is here for, to do her imperil field. Do note that you have to upgrade this ability with 4 crowns to get a 50% imperil field, or if you have what's her name, I think it's the Dark Lineage version, Sakura Dark Lineage. I think she can do that innately. She can do the 50% imperil field by summoning Rama innately. But having Sage of Thunder Sakura is also nice because at a EX2, she gets the Elemental Power Lightning ability, which now does 100% right away. So the turn you cast it, you've got 100% Lightning Amp. And we will use that to make sure that we get this cleared out. So having EX2 Sakura is definitely, I think it's definitely necessary to get it done as quickly as I'm going to do it. Now you may be wondering about the gear. I literally just tap the optimize button and hit MP because again, much like Elena, we don't want her to run out of MP by casting that, casting that elemental power lightning every turn or every battle. So just give her tons of MP and MP reduction. Hairpin of Purity is there for the ailment resist. And that's pretty much it. I also gave her a couple of Bahamut synergies because these fill Esper gauge at the beginning of the battle with the Bahamut synergy. All right, that's just to make sure we have a full Esper gauge when we need it so that we can summon Rama. You do have to put Rama Esper on her because she can't summon any Esper on the field. You have to have it equipped to her, so make sure you've done that so she can summon him. All right, Kaito, we don't care about the normal form, and Brave Shift form can be whatever. This is just his favorited gear, except I put in Hairpin of Purity. If you need to deal more damage, you can gear him for damage, but his damage is pretty bad anyways. But yeah, just put whatever you want on it. Like, honestly, this gear is irrelevant. It's not even worth talking about. Just Hairpin of Purity for the ailment resist. If you need to build him for damage, I'll leave that to you. Let's check out Kaiser's build here. We only care about the Brave Shift form. And yeah, so he's built him up all the Clash gear. He's EX3. He's got full killers to everything. Yep, 300% to everything, 300% LB damage. He's good to go. All right. He isn't fully ailment resistant, but he is resistant to the ones that we really care about, like stone, confusion, paralyze, and blind. So he's at least resistant to those. So that's the ones that we really care about. All right, let's get in here and see how we get this one done. All right, so each of these is going to look pretty similar. They're all going to be just like a one-turn setup, turn 2, kill the boss, with the exception being the next fight, which we are going to kill on the first turn, just because it's a fairly squishy boss. But they're all going to look pretty much the same. Since Roberta doesn't have any killers on this one, we're just going to unlock her quad cast with Mega Breath on this one. Sakura is going to go ahead and summon Rama for the Imperil field. Celeste is going to do coordinated teamwork for the buffs. Dazzling Neon for the amp field, which does do a 50% lightning amp field. And then in Thundaga to imbue everybody. All right, Kaito is just going to do crashing waves for the breaks. That's all he needs to do on this turn. We're going to go ahead and shift our friend Hyoh, and he's going to stay in Brave Shift form for the rest of the fight. But all he needs to do is refine stance for the Fist Imperil. And all Elena is going to do is Celestial Guard, Provoke, Shelga. Okay. And she is, I believe, naturally charm resistant, which comes in handy because this boss does a single target charm. And so she will take that. There it is. Single target charm. And Elena covers everything, so we don't have to worry about it. And you see she took like 0 damage there. Okay, now Kaito is actually going to come back to normal form on this one, and he's going to do Swelling Current for the Fairy Killer to the party. All right, Sakura is going to do Elemental Power Lightning on my friend Hyoh. For the first 4 fights, Hyoh is technically going to be stronger than Celeste, because Celeste, her LB modifier is a 630 times mod, whereas Hyoh's is a 650 times mod. But starting on the 5th fight, once we start using Celeste's increased LB mod buffs, she becomes technically stronger than Kaito, because with she has a 400 LB mod buff, or sorry, a 400 LB buff and a 500 LB buff in her kit. And so using either one of those will instantly make her overall modifier higher than Hyoh's. But until we get to that point, Hyoh gets the 100% amp. We'll just do a True Thunderstone just to make sure everybody's imbued again, and Burst for the bigger Lightning Imperil. All right, Roberta is just going to do Quad Mystic to ramp up the chain for us. And then we just do LB. We're going to shift. Make sure you do the shifted LB because it is significantly stronger than her normal LB. And Elena does LB, and there we go. So we'll just start Roberta, let that chain ramp up a little bit, and then send everybody else. Okay, first boss. All right, 6 billion. The boss only has, I think, 4 billion, so lots of overkill there. Now for this one, this is the only one that's going to be a turn 1 kill, and we're literally just going to hit reload and repeat. Okay, except with the exception of, we're going to bring Kaito because Kaito is going to do his LB. All right, because it has the 88% defense and spirit breaks on it, and he can just chain with everybody. And Roberta is just going to do her normal LB, which does a 350 mod buff, 300% LB damage buff for everybody. Okay, she's going to be our buffer on this turn. All right, so once again, Hyoh got the 100% amp. Everyone's imbued due to True Thunderstone, and we have the Lightning Imperil. So we are good to go. This time I'm going to send Kaito and Elena first to let them ramp up the chain, and then send Celeste and Hyoh. Okay. 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 All right. Now this boss, we don't have any active killers for plants, but it shouldn't be a problem because Celeste has 300% plant killers innately, so it should be more than enough. Now we're going to go back to our, turn 1 setup, turn 2 burst. Okay. So we're going to wait for Sakura real quick. I want her to be the first one to act. So on this one, we're going to use her for her status reset. Okay, that's going to do our ailment resist because this boss just imperiled our ailment resist. So we need to bump that back up because it will do, I think it does like blind and poison and all that stuff. So we just want to make sure we're avoiding that. We'll do True Thunderstone, and then we'll do burst for the lightning imperil. All right, Celeste can do coordinated teamwork, dazzling neon, and we'll just do like electric battery. Okay, Kaito can go ahead and do crashing wave for the brakes. We'll do refined stance. Go ahead and send them. And Elena goes back to do her Omni cover, provoke, and Shelga. Roberta on this one will do, yeah, she'll just do her Mega Breath again. Just to unlock her quad cast because she doesn't have any plant killers in her kit, so she doesn't need to use any of those. We will use her Aquan killers next one. Okay, so there we resisted the blind and the poison. Okay, so now Sakura can do elemental power lightning on Hyoh for the burst. We'll do LB. I'm gonna shift in LB. Can't forget to do that. And LB, LB, and Roberta will just ramp up the chain for us. Okay. All right, that's 3 bosses down, 3 to go. All right, so once again, turn 1 setup. So we'll come back. All right, coordinated teamwork, dazzling neon, electric battery. Kaito just does crashing waves. All right, Hyoh does refined stance. Roberta does have killers on this one, so we'll do aquatic killer. We'll just leave like support from the sky. Actually, no, let's do Ignitas's domain to remove our imperils, just to make sure, Elena doesn't take too much damage. So we'll do aquatic killers, Ignitas's domain, and Mega Breath. Okay, Sakura will do status reset, True Thunderstone, and burst. And Elena does Celestial Guard, provoke, and Shelga. I know, pretty boring stuff, right? Boring but effective. All right, now this boss does Mighty Guard, which is an undispellable defense and spirit buff, but that's why we bring Kaito, so he can roll it back. And this is the only boss that does that, so use Unpredictable Tide. And goodbye defense and spirit buff. Okay, so now we can just do quad mystic breath. Oh, did I only do triple? Let's do quad. Make sure we have a good long chain. All right, shift and LB. LB. Sakura can give the 100% amp to Hyoh again. All right, this is the last fight where Hyoh will get the 100% amp though. Starting with the next fight, we'll be giving it to Celeste. All right. Okay. There we go. 4 for 4. So in total, we've done 9 turns total, right? Is that right? No, 7, sorry. So we've done 4 bosses, 3 of them have been 2 turns clears, and then a 1 turn. So we've used 7 turns out of, how many are we allowed to use? 25? All right, so you see that cursed glare. She's just reduced our resistance to petrification. So very important that we buff that. Unless you're killing on turn 1, of course, but we're not. So we want to make sure that we buff that so that we do not get petrified, because that could potentially end your entire run. So we'll do status reset, Thunderstone, and burst. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, we gotta set our fields. That's right. She doesn't petrify until turn 2. So as long as you kill by turn 2, we won't get petrified. Okay, so you see that she has gotten rid of our fields. We gotta re-up our Imperil field. All right, Celeste is gonna come back and re-up the amp field. Coordinated teamwork, dazzling neon. This time she's gonna do surpassing limits, not surpassing limits plus, just regular old surpassing limits for the 400% LB buff. Okay, so we've re-upped our Imperil field. We're gonna re-up our amp field. All right, Roberta is going to, all she has to do on this one is, we will get rid of our Imperils again, just, you know, why not? We'll do Ignitas's Domain, we'll do Support from the Skies, and Mega Breath. All right, Kaito just does Crashing Waves. Hyoh just does Refined Stance. Elena just does Celestial Guard, Shining Provocation, and Shelga. Okay. All right, now Kaito is actually going to come back to normal. He's going to do our Demon Killer buff, using Swelling Current again for the Demon Killer buff for everybody. Okay, we'll do LB, we'll shift and do LB. LB, Roberta will just quad Mystic. All right, Sakura is going to do, all right, Elemental Power Lightning on Celeste this time because she has a larger overall modifier. True Thunderstone to imbue everybody, and Burst for the Lightning Imperil. Okay. All right, so once again, Roberta ramps. Everybody else just chains it up. All right, 5 out of 5. 1 more to go. And the dragon is probably the easiest. Wow, that was a lot of overkill. I think she only has 6 billion. Okay. All right, and since we replaced all of our fields last time, we're good to go. All right, so let's do this one more time. Again, it's going to look very, very similar. Kaito just does Crashing Waves. Elena does Omnicover, Provoke, and Shelga. Celeste comes back to normal. Buffs, Field, now Surpassing Limits Plus. Roberta will do Dragon Killer, Support from the Skies, and Mega Breath. Alright, once Hyoh's done auto casting, he will do Refined Stance. And Sakura will just do Status Reset, True Thunderstone, and Burst. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's just kill this thing. Shouldn't be, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Definitely don't want to imbue everybody with fire. All right, Quad Mystic. All right, Kaito can LB. Celeste will shift and LB. Elena LB. All right, as soon as all the auto casting is done, Hyoh will LB. And Sakura will give the 100% amp to Celeste on this one. Alright, Elemental Power Lightning on Celeste. And this one should be an easy peasy kill. Alright, let's just go ahead and do it. There you go, 7.9. I think he only has 6 billion. He might have 7 billion HP. I can't remember. It kind of increases. Like the first couple have 4 billion, then like goes like 5 billion, and then the last two I think have 6 billion. But it's possible the dragon has 7 billion. I'm not really sure. Should probably Libra them. But anyways, that's how we got it done. We'll take a look at the damage report real quick. It's pretty much the Celeste and Hyoh show, as you might expect. You know, no one else is really contributing any big damage, but if you actually built them for damage, they could actually help out a little bit if you're not quite getting it done the way that I've showed you here. So there you go. That's the damage report. That's just another way that you can tackle this boss rush if you don't have your own Hyoh on the party, or you don't have another strong unit besides Celeste. Celeste can help you with a friend Hyoh carry this one easy peasy. So hopefully this was helpful to you guys. Thank you so much for following me, and I will see you on the other side.